The Patriots have rolled through the month of October as we sit down here today, this afternoon on Monday, October 27th. Is a good day today as the New England Patriots have won 5 straight games with a win over the Cleveland Browns yesterday by a score of 32-13. They improve on the year to 6-2. Welcome back to this episode of the Monster and the Lighthouse. This is episode number 4 for us this fall. As our last episode was on last Monday, on October 20th, I believe. We talked about the Patriots coming into, I'm getting my dates mixed up. It was last Wednesday, and that was October 22nd. We were kind of catching up, making up for some lost time, talking about the Red Sox a little bit, talking about how their season came to a close. And then we were talking about the Patriots, and we kind of went over what was at the time the 4-game win streak as they came away with a 31-13 win over the Tennessee Titans. Didn't really get to preview the Browns game a little bit. Was planning on maybe doing another episode Friday. That didn't end up happening. But the Patriots do get the win, a convincing one over Cleveland on Sunday against the overall number 1 ranked defense in the league. Although Cleveland, as you can tell, they fell to 2-6 yesterday. You can tell by their record that outside of the defense, they have struggled mightily this year. So my plan for today is to talk just a little bit about the game yesterday and kind of where the Patriots go from here. They, again, continue to roll, have won 5 in a row, and end the month of October with an undefeated record of 4-0. So October, they beat the Bills on the road. Obviously, they got that big upset win on Sunday Night Football to start the month. Then the next week, what a lot of people thought could be a trap game, including myself, they went down to New Orleans, came away with kind of a tight win over a struggling Saints team, but they won that one by a final of 25-19. Then the next week, or last week, they went down to Nashville to take on another struggling team in the Tennessee Titans, who came in at 1-5. The Patriots knocked them down to 1-6 with a convincing 31-13 win on the road. And then yesterday, the Patriots finally coming back home to Gillette Stadium for the first time in about a month since that end of September win against the Panthers, which started this 5-game win streak. And they took down Cleveland 32-13. Yesterday, very interesting game coming in because everybody had talked about all week. Cleveland has the number 1 overall defense in the league. They have an edge rusher who can obviously disrupt the passing game. And Myles Garrett, that's the guy they were talking about specifically, who's likely on his way to being a Hall of Famer someday. Myles Garrett started the day yesterday very good. And in fact, really throughout the game, he was a wrecking crew. But unfortunately, he was really the only guy on the Cleveland defense, especially in the second half, that was doing anything kind of meaningful. But Garrett ended the day yesterday with 5 sacks on Drake May. And it was a rough start offensively for the Patriots. In the first half, they did not score a touchdown. They were held to 3 Andy Borregales field goals, including a nice one, a big one, I think, before the half, to put the Patriots ahead by a score of 9-7. And, that was kind of a big field goal because Cleveland got it first to start the second half. So I think it could have been a lot different if Cleveland got the ball first the second half, start the second half when we're leading 7-6. Cleveland's defense, again, in the first half did a really good job. They held the Patriots in check. And the Patriots actually, will kind of go through how the game went. The Patriots got the ball first. So for the first time in a few weeks, the Patriots defense was not on the field first. The last couple weeks, at least from what I can remember against the Saints and Titans, the Patriots were playing defense first in both of those games. And the defense struggled on the opening drive of both of those games, but obviously the offense was able to come back and get them a quick touchdown and get the lead and kind of take control. At least that was how it went in the Saints game. The Titans game, the Patriots answered with a field goal on their opening drive to tie it at 3-3. But the Patriots get the ball first yesterday, and immediately looked pretty good. They were going down the field on Cleveland's defense. It was kind of surprising maybe how slow of a start Cleveland's defense was off to. But then the Patriots got all the way down to, I believe, the 4-yard line and had a 1st and goal. And unfortunately, just some bad play calling inside the red zone, inside the 5-yard line specifically. They started off, I think it was a handoff to Travion Henderson. Henderson kind of fumbled, or not fumbled, but there was a bit of a toss-up with the handoff. It wasn't a clean handoff. Henderson got his hands on it and was able to avoid a fumble. But Cleveland's defense was right there, and they stacked them up, I think, for like a 5-yard loss on 1st and goal. So that put it back. It was 2nd and goal. I think the next pass was, I believe, an incompletion to Stephon Diggs. Not a very good ball thrown by Drake May. He did have a drop, or not Diggs, but Kayshon Boutte actually had a drop earlier in that drive for the Patriots. But then right after that, I believe it was, 3rd and goal, Drake May got sacked by Myles Garrett, which I think was the first sack of the day for Garrett, and it put the Patriots all the way back to, I believe, the 20-yard line. So they were still in field goal range, but obviously disappointing way to end that opening drive. It did cap off, though, with, I believe, a 37 or 38-yard field goal from Borregales. So that made it 3-0 Patriots. Opening drive for the Browns was not looking good initially. The Patriots had Dylan Gabriel and the Browns backed up in like a 3rd and 12. I believe it was the opening series, too. So not even, they hadn't even picked up a first down yet. But unfortunately, it was Gabriel who hit his tight end wide open. I believe it was Harold Fannin. Fannin would actually be the guy who would go on to have the touchdown catch on that drive. And he hit Harold Fannin for a big completion to get a first down on a 3rd and 12. That was kind of a deflator, I think, for the Patriots defense that drive, because then after that, it was pretty clean sailing for Dylan Gabriel and the Browns offense as they picked up a few more first downs. They really, I don't think, were in 3rd down at all the rest of that drive. The Patriots defense just did not have an answer. A couple of big completions, and it finally capped off with an 18-yard catch for Harold Fannin for a touchdown. And the Browns took a 7-3 lead. And at that moment, things were not looking great for the Patriots. And that's been an overarching concern, I think, for their defense this year, is that they have not been good on opening drives. They have let up, I believe the last time they forced a punt on an opening drive was against Buffalo in the Bills game. But around that, I mean, you think about all the games this year that they've allowed opening drive touchdowns to open the season against the Raiders. They did stop the Dolphins on their opening possession in week 2, so that's not one. Week 3, they allowed an opening drive touchdown to Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Week 4, that was the Panthers game, they allowed Bryce Young and co. to go right down the field against them in that game on the opening drive before they blew them out after. And then the Bills game, they didn't. They forced the punt. But then I think after that, the Saints game, the Saints go right down the field. The Patriots hold them to 3. And then similarly, the Titans go down the field pretty quickly too. But on the opening drive, the Patriots also hold them to 3. But still, they're allowing first drive points, or they've allowed first drive points in 6 of their first 8 games. So that's not something that is a positive trend necessarily. It sounds like Coach Mike Vrabel was really harping on it last week going into the Browns game. But unfortunately, the Patriots were not able to keep Cleveland off the board on the opening drive yesterday, and they fell behind 7-3. Then I think the Patriots went 3 and out, I believe, the next drive, or maybe not right 3 and out, but they punted the next drive. Cleveland got it back. The Patriots defense held after allowing, I think, a couple more first downs. So they forced Cleveland to punt. And it was kind of punts back and forth for a little bit. And then finally the Patriots had another good drive going. And once again, they got into the red zone. I think May hit Matt Collins had a nice day yesterday after dressing up as a Bishop chess piece coming into that game. Kind of an interesting way to start. But he hit Matt Collins for a nice completion. That got him inside. It was either inside the 20 or inside the 15. But then, once again, the Patriots offense, got down, I believe, to the red zone again. They did. And once again, the offense kind of stalled, so they were forced to settle for, I think, relatively chip shot field goal from Borregales. He knocked it through once again to make it 7-6. And yeah, so it held at 7-6 for a while. And then finally, before halftime, the Patriots had the ball or got the ball back off another Cleveland punt. I got to say, like yesterday, the punts, especially, I know it's kind of a funny thing to talk about, but really the punts in the first half were very good from both sides. The Browns had expatriate Corey Bojorquez, who's been around the league for a little bit. He was on the Bills for a while, and then he's been on the Browns, I think, the last few years. But they had Corey Bojorquez. Bojorquez had a nice punt, had a couple nice punts to kind of pin the Patriots deep. Bryce Baringer, who's been a good punter for the Patriots, this is his third season. He had a few nice good punts as well to pin the Browns deep. So it was kind of a punt fest for a little bit for a lot of the first half. But finally, before halftime, the Patriots got the ball and got the ball in good field position too. And we're driving down the field. But then I think a sack maybe it was a holding penalty or something, set them back to like a 3rd and 23. And it was outside the 40, so you're really no longer in field goal range, in safe field goal range at least for Borregales, especially with about 30 seconds to go before the half. You don't want to give Cleveland a chance to get points right before the half, make it 10-6 perhaps. So the Patriots, Drake May actually hooked up with Kayshon Boutte for like a 21-yard completion on that 3rd and 23, and it wasn't quite enough to get the first down. It was 4th and 2, but still a big completion nonetheless because that set the Patriots up in very good field goal range. Or once again, it set him up in field goal range for Borregales, who knocked through, I think, a 48-yarder right before halftime. Or no, 42-yarder right before halftime to make it 9-7 Patriots. So that was the half. Now, again, it was a tight game at halftime. 1 touchdown for the Browns, 3 field goals for the Patriots. Kind of a defensive slugfest. The first half really felt like it went fast because of that. But in the second half, the Cleveland was going to receive the second half kick. So Cleveland got the ball first. Gabriel I don't remember. I think they might have gotten a first down on that drive. But then after that, I think Cleveland stalled out offensively. So they had to punt once again. Pretty good punt from Bojorquez. But the Patriots kind of building off of the momentum that they had at the end of the second half, at the end of the first half, they were able to go down the field and Drake May ended up hitting Hunter Henry for a 7-yard touchdown. That gave the Patriots a 16-7 lead. So again, the Patriots, this has been something we've seen them do the last couple of weeks. They kind of got off to slow starts defensively, but their offense kind of picked them up a little bit. The offense didn't quite pick them up as much in the first half of yesterday, really because I think a combination of Cleveland's defense, but also I think the Patriots weren't playing as good as they could have certainly in the first half either. I think Drake May came out a little bit flat. He did throw that interception to Schlesinger, which was a big pick for the Browns. But luckily for the Patriots, and that's something I forgot to highlight in the first half, that pick set Cleveland up at, I think, the New England 35. But their defense was able to get off the field in 3 plays, and it set up a field goal try that Cleveland was not able to convert on. So that kept the score 7-3. That was a big swing, I think, right there, too, because right after that, the Patriots made it 7-6. But anyway, I digress. So coming out of the first half, the Patriots get the touchdown to make it 16-7 after they were up 9-7. And from then on out, the Patriots pretty much took over the momentum of the game. Cleveland does not have the type of offense that can really play catch up from behind, and I think it definitely showed. Even in the first half, Cleveland had chances to make it maybe 10-3 or even 10-6, with that interception. They could have at least made it 10-3 with the interception, but obviously the kick was no good from, I think, 47. So the Patriots caught a bit of a break there. But, yeah, Cleveland is clearly the type of offense that cannot really come back in a game, and I think it showed you yesterday. They have to play in the lead. And even when they were in the lead, they still weren't really doing anything against the Patriot defense outside of the first drive. So, yeah, right after that, the Browns get the kick. And this is, again, where things start to go awry for them. Dylan Gabriel throws a pick, really bad throw, throws a pick right to Robert Spillane, Patriots linebacker. Spillane returns it from like the Cleveland 40 all the way to the Cleveland like 6-yard line. So that sets up the Patriots perfectly for a 1st and goal. And the Patriots do what they have to do. They get the ball down to the 1 on 3rd and goal. And instead of a run, because I think Cleveland's front was expecting a run, a nice little quick slant pass underneath to Stephon Diggs for 1 yard at a Patriots touchdown. And that was Stephon Diggs' first career touchdown as a Patriot. So crazy to think that like Diggs had some really nice games, specifically against Buffalo. He had a really nice, those 2 weeks, really the Panthers game and the Bills game, back-to-back weeks. He had 2 really nice games for over 100 yards, but he did not have a touchdown in either of those games. So that was kind of the interesting thing. But he finally gets his first touchdown as a Patriot yesterday, the 1-yard hookup with Drake May. And it's funny because Diggs really, outside of that, did not have a big day. But I do have him on my fantasy team, and I was certainly happy that he had that touchdown for that reason, because he boosted his point total big time. All right, so that made it 23-7 with the touchdown and the Borregales extra point. And then after that, it was, I think Cleveland had to punt again, I want to say. And then the Patriots ended up going down the field again for another touchdown. I forget who had the other TD for them. I don't know, but it blew the game open. I know that, obviously. I'm going to look here. See who had the Patriots touchdown. Who had the Patriots touchdown to make it 30-7. Let's see. Because it was 30-7. It was... Well, that's right. It was the Kayshon Boutte touchdown. Yet another week and another touchdown for Kayshon Boutte. And it was an absolute dart and a beautiful throw by Drake May from 39 yards out. Just hit him kind of down the left sideline, past the defender. A nice over-the-shoulder grab by Boutte for 39 yards, and the Patriots blew it open at that point, made it 30-7. And at that point, you knew the game was pretty much over. It was kind of a weird fourth quarter for the Patriots. I think Vrabel will probably talk to the guys this week and say that maybe we didn't finish the game the way that they wanted to, defensively at least. It was with about 9:24 to go. Dylan Gabriel hit David Njoku for an 11-yard touchdown to make it 30-13. The Browns went for 2, but were unsuccessful. Tried to make it 30-15. And then with 4:06 to go, this was the final points of the game, which made the final score what it was. The Patriots got a safety as Dylan Gabriel had really just a horrible pass out of the end zone. It was to no man's land, trying to avoid a safety. But coincidentally, because he was in the end zone, he was called for intentional grounding. So it ended up being a safety anyway, intentional grounding in the end zone. So that made it 32-13 Patriots. And another blowout win for New England. Again, Cleveland, their third straight kind of not good team. But I think of the three, well, certainly of the three, this team has the best defense. There's no question. Tennessee's defense is pretty bad. The Saints' defense is pretty bad. So of those three teams, the Browns had the best defense. But even with that, the Patriots, again, a tight first half, but they outscore Cleveland in the second half, 23-6, to make it, again, 32-13. So that was that. And the Patriots are now even at 500 on the year at Gillette Stadium. That was another talking point on the year. A talking point coming into last week's game was that the Patriots have not been a good home team this year. They have struggled a bit, but for what it's worth, they have won now their last 2 home games, and both of them have been blowout wins. The first one to end September and to start this 5-game win streak against Carolina, 42-13. And then this other one yesterday against Cleveland, 32-13. So a couple blowout wins at home by the Patriots over admittedly two not very good teams. I know Carolina's 4-4, and entering yesterday before they got torched by the Bills, they were 4-3. But yeah, I mean, I still don't think the Panthers are a very good team. Bryce Young has looked at least a little better over this last year and a half, going back to kind of the second half of last year, but still not a very good team. So I know a couple bad teams. I know the Patriots overall have a weak schedule this year, but man, does it feel good to end October, going into the month of November, kind of prime football season, to be 6-2. Because, I was thinking yesterday, the Patriots last year it was this day last year, but it was a Sunday last year, of course, October 27th. The Patriots were getting just their second win of the year, and it was the 3-point win over Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets at Gillette Stadium. And it was the game where I believe Drake May went down with an injury actually midway through, and if I remember, didn't return to the game. It was actually Jacoby Brissett who led that team to victory. So, man, what a difference a year makes. The Patriots, again, last year at this time had just 2 wins, and I believe that put them at 2-6. So they're the opposite this year. They're 6-2, certainly on the better end of it. But yeah, man, what a difference a year makes. The Patriots come away with a 32-13 win over Cleveland yesterday. And Drake May passes definitely what's been his biggest test as far as facing another defense this year. No question, the Browns, for as bad a team, the Browns are not a good team. I don't want to mince words. But, that was a hard defense to face yesterday. And he obviously, especially in the second half, put up great numbers. So good to see Drake May and the Patriots pass that test for their offense. They now will be home once again next weekend, Sunday, November 2nd, against the Atlanta Falcons. And I'll probably have more of a preview for that game in our next episode. I do plan on probably doing one more episode. I'm going to be out of town on Friday, so probably I'll try to do it once again my next day off, which is Wednesday. So in a couple of days. But yeah, so a good win for the Patriots yesterday. They moved to 6-2, and they got one more matchup again with Atlanta, who got absolutely mauled yesterday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium by the Dolphins of all teams. So Miami picked up their second win of the year to go to 2-6. I do want to look over that game a little bit. I also want to talk about kind of the maybe glaring headlines around the league from yesterday. I'm not really going to talk baseball right now. I mean, the World Series obviously is going on, and that's 1-1. It heads to LA tonight for Game 3. A blowout win by the Blue Jays in Game 1, 11-4. They scored 9 runs to break a 2-2 tie in the bottom of the 7th. And then finally on Saturday night, the Dodgers even up the series, winning that game 5-1. And that game was really all about the pitching for LA. A go-ahead home run in the top of the 7th from Will Smith, the Dodgers catcher. They scored a few more runs after that. And then, yeah. What else? I mean, sorry. I'm having a brain fart here at the moment. It is Monday. Yeah, but Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched a complete game for the Dodgers, and they went on to win that 5-1. So that's what's going on in baseball right now. I feel like I'm going to start talking more about baseball again when the season is over, obviously when the World Series is over, which will be relatively shortly, one way or another. So probably within the next week and a half, we'll probably start talking more about baseball again. But for now, I want to focus on football, mainly just because the Red Sox aren't in it, obviously. So, yeah, around the league yesterday, the Dolphins took down the Falcons 34-10. Yeah, and that was obviously not a good game for the Falcons. The Falcons were without Michael Penix, who I believe had a leg injury. So they started veteran Kirk Cousins, who's their backup. But not a good game at all for Atlanta yesterday. And the Steelers lose their second straight game. 35-25. Aaron Rodgers facing off against his old team at at formerly Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium, I believe is what it's called now. Stupid corporate sponsors. Oh, well, Heinz corporate, but anyway, Heinz Field sounds much better than Acrisure Field. The Packers take down the Steelers 35-25. So Green Bay, along with Dallas, the only two teams with a tie as they tied against each other. But Green Bay 5-1-1, and Pittsburgh falls to 4-3. So that was good news for the Patriots. The Steelers, of course, unfortunately own the tiebreaker between those two, but Pittsburgh losing their second straight to fall to 4-3. Another big game yesterday was Dallas at Denver. Denver blew out Dallas to improve to 6-2, 44-24 at Mile High Stadium. And the Colts continue rolling. They're, I believe, 7-1 now. I think that's the league best, 7-1, 38-14 over the Tennessee Titans, who again are just a hapless team, just a bad football team. They fall to 1-7. The Buccaneers beat up on the Saints 23-3. Tampa Bay goes to 6-2. New Orleans, not as bad in my opinion as Tennessee, but they have the same record at 1-7. Let's see. The Giants and the Eagles. That was kind of an intriguing matchup yesterday because of what the Giants did to Philly a few weeks ago on Thursday Night Football at MetLife Stadium. But unfortunately for the Giants, it was bad in more ways than just the scoreboard. They lost a tough one yesterday, 38-20, getting blown out by Philly. And Philly seems to kind of be back on track after losing 2 in a row. They've now won 2 in a row to go to 6-2. The Giants, despite, I think, good quarterback play from Jackson Dart, I think he's a guy to keep an eye on. He's looked good these last few weeks since starting. Unfortunately, the Giants, though, fall to 2-6, and more importantly, they lose their star rookie running back out of Arizona State, Cam Skattebo, for the year with an ankle injury, just a really ugly ankle injury. Would not advise you to watch it, but it's one of those injuries where just, the ankle is twisting the other way. It's kind of like what Dak Prescott had, I think, back in 2020. But really sad for the Giants, unfortunate for them. Skattebo is done for the year. And obviously Jackson Dart has looked really good, but not having Cam Skattebo is a huge loss for the Giants. And I guess not to prey on another team's injury or a running back injury, but obviously the Patriots are going to have the Giants to start December, and that is going to be a big loss for the Giants, obviously, not only through the season, but for that matchup when they do come to Gillette Stadium on Monday Night Football. I think it's December 1st. So the Giants lose Skattebo for the year. That's really the biggest headline to come out of that one. I think Barkley had a couple touchdowns for the Eagles. Obviously, we talked about the Patriots beat the Browns, blowout fashion, 32-13. The Texans go to, I believe, 3-4. Yes, 3-4. So they get their season back on track with a 26-15 win over the 49ers, Mac Jones and the 49ers. Mac Jones has been, again, I'm happy for him as a Patriots fan. He's been kind of the feel-good story this year alongside Daniel Jones for the Colts. He's really helped the 49ers. He hasn't played great necessarily, but he's played well enough to win. And I'm happy for him as a Patriots fan. But the Niners fall to 5-3 and have had some major injuries this year. And in the long run, I don't see how the Niners keep it up. I mean, I think they have too many injuries. McCaffrey, I believe, is still playing, although he only had 8 rushes for 25 yards. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make sure he's not hurt again, is he? No, I don't think he is. He is not injured. He just did not have a very good day yesterday. 8 carries for only 25 yards. The Texans shut him down in Houston. So 26-15 Texans, the final there. Texans go to 3-4. The 49ers fall to 5-3. And that's another one here. Texans, Seahawks. Yeah, we talked about the Dolphins blowing out the Falcons. Falcons obviously are the team the Patriots get next at Gillette Stadium this coming Sunday, next Sunday. The Bills and Panthers, that's the other one. Talked a little bit, kind of brushed over it when I was talking about the Panthers. The Bills crushed the Panthers yesterday. The Bills had a bye week before this week and had lost their last two, going back to the Sunday night upset where the Patriots took them down for their first loss of the season. And then the next week, they lost on Monday Night Football, I believe, in Atlanta to the Falcons, another upset loss. So they fell to 4-2, but they get back on track in a big way yesterday, 40-9 over the Panthers, who fall to 4-4. Buffalo improves to 5-2. The Patriots obviously have a game in hand right now, or the Bills have a game in hand, depending on how you look at it. The Patriots have not had their bye week yet. Buffalo has. So the Patriots are 6-2, Buffalo 5-2. Not a great day for Andy Dalton for the Panthers. Bryce Young, I believe, was hurt, so he did not start. 16-24, 175 yards and one pick. Allen was 12-19 for 163, one touchdown. James Cook, though, had the really big day. 19 carries for 216 yards and two touchdowns. Just 8 carries for 54 yards for Rico Dowdle. The biggest non-quarterback player to have a day for Carolina was their rookie wide receiver, Tetro McMillan. 7 catches for 99 yards. So a good day for him, but not a good day for the Panthers. I don't think they're a very good team. I think they showed it yesterday. I know, the Patriots blew them out too. So, again, we'll see. Next game, we're kind of going backwards, I guess, in terms of the time slots and the days, was the Bears at the Ravens. And the Ravens, coming off a bye week as well, this week did not have Lamar Jackson once again. He was out with an injury. So they came in at 1-5, but they do improve to 2-5 with a 2 TD win at home over the Bears, 30-16. Tyler Huntley getting the job done once again in relief for the Ravens. He was 17-22 for 186, but did take care of the ball, 1 touchdown, no picks. Caleb Williams threw it a lot more for the Bears. He was 25 of 38 for 285 yards, but 1 interception. And a nice day, good bounce-back day, too, for Derrick Henry, who the last few weeks before the bye was really quiet, did not do much. But he was 21 carries for 71 yards, but he did have 2 touchdowns, so that kind of saved it for him. The Bears fall to 4-3, and the Bears are kind of an interesting team because they started the year 0-2, but were on a 4-game win streak, but finally had that 4-game win streak snapped yesterday to fall to 4-3. Under first-year coach and former Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. And the very intriguing game of the day yesterday was the Jets and Bengals. It wasn't intriguing going in, but it was intriguing because of how it ended up. The Jets finally, in Week 8, get their first win of the year to go to 1-7. And that was a big loss yesterday for Cincinnati because the Bengals had kind of a mini bye week after they took down the Steelers by 2 points on Thursday Night Football a couple weeks ago. Or a week and a half ago, however you want to look at it. And that put them at 3-4. And ever since they traded for Joe Flacco, I think they started the year 1-4, but they have won 2 straight. Yesterday was looking like a very winnable game for them in front of their home crowd to get back to 500, to get to 4-4. But instead, it goes the other way at a huge fourth quarter for the Jets. The Bengals were leading for most of the game, but a huge fourth quarter from the Jets gives New York the 1-point win, 39-38. They outscored Cincinnati in the fourth, 23-7. And it was a good day for Justin Fields, 21-32 for 244, 1 touchdown. Flacco had a decent day as well. I mean, you would expect putting up 38 points, but their defense just atrocious, especially down the stretch. Breece Hall, also a big day with 2 touchdowns for the Jets, 133 yards on 18 carries. And the best rusher for Cincinnati was Samaje Perine for 9 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. So, not a good day for Cincinnati. They fall now. That was a big swing because instead of being 4-4, they're now 3-5. Once again, they're 2 games under 500. And Cincinnati, obviously the Patriots will have the Jets twice before the season's over. They're going to have the Jets in mid-November on Thursday Night Football. And then they're going to have them, I believe, week 17. I think the second to last weekend of the season, they're going to have them at the end of December at MetLife Stadium. So yeah, but not a good day at all yesterday for Cincinnati and Joe Flacco. Although Flacco again individually had a pretty good day, but not a good day for the team. That's a big loss. And again, we're at the midway point kind of the season. The trade deadline's coming up, I believe next Tuesday. So we're pretty much at the midway point of the year. I mean, yesterday was week 8. There's 18 weeks. So, this coming week is officially the halfway